I still see people using Excel the old way, range-based formulas, dragging cells and repeating logic. But Excel has new functions that makes all of this unnecessary. In this video, I'll show you 4 powerful Excel formulas: map, MAKEARRAY, BYROW and scan, and which to use when. Let's begin. We have 5 students and their scores across 3 tests. Let's analyze this using modern Excel formulas. The first one is map. Map is used when you want to transform each item individually. Let's calculate the average score for each student. Map. Array will be the list of students from A2 to A6. Lambda for calculation. Variable name is student. And the function will be average. Let's get them row by row. We can use the index function to extract each row from B2 to D6. And for the row, we will match the variable student with the values in A2 to A6. This will get us the row-wise score for each student. Close all the brackets and we get the average for each student. Now, one thing I want to clearly highlight is that if your need is to just calculate average once, then you should use a simple average function. However, this approach is useful when you know your data can increase with time. You'll then not need to copy the formulas again and again. Let's move to MAKEARRAY as we want to create a grid or a table. Now we will compare the difference between a test score and the average score for that test. MAKEARRAY, we will create a grid of 5 rows and 3 columns, matching the number of students and tests. We can name them as row and column for the lambda parameters. I'll capture the scores in a variable student score. Let's calculate the class average 2 for each test. Now that we have both, let's get the difference between each score and average for that test. And return the difference. Close the bracket for let, lambda and MAKEARRAY. And we get the grid. Let's do a quick check. Average for test 1 is 83. Since Alice has got 85, we see the difference is 2. And Bob has got 78, we see the difference is -5, and so on. Now let's look at row-wise operations. We'll find the best test for each student. This is the highest value in each row. Since this is a row-wise operation, we will use BYROW. The array is the scores B2 to D6. Lambda for the function. Let's start by receiving the student scores. The highest score can be calculated using the max function. The test position is a match of the highest score in that row. Let's add the position to the word test to get the test name. And we can return both the test name and the score. Close the brackets for let, lambda and BYROW, and we have the result. Now on to our final task of returning the running averages. This is where things get interesting. Scan function keeps memory of previous results. value in each step depends on the value calculated in the previous one. So it doesn't just calculate, it accumulates. We will start with let and calculate row-wise averages. Once we have that, let's move to scan so we can iterate row-wise and calculate the running average. Scan, initial value is 0. The array will be the row numbers which we can get using the sequence function. Let's define the function using lambda. The variables will be previous average and row number. I'm going to define a few more variables, therefore let. The first variable is the average of the row we are on. We can call it current average and get it using the existing variables. The final definition will be for the running average. We will multiply the previous average with the number of rows before and then add the current average to it. And finally, we will divide all of this by the current row number. If you look at it carefully, this is a weighted average calculation. Return the running average, close the bracket for let, lambda, scan and let function. And there you get the running average. So to summarize, map is best when you want to transform each item individually. MAKEARRAY is best for making structured grids. You will use BYROW when you want to process each row in one go, and scan when you want to accumulate with memory. So that's it for this video. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you'd like to learn more about Excel and Power BI, consider subscribing our channel Analytics Success. Thanks for watching.